Today we've got something a bit different for you. This is a gaming keyboard from Asus, but not like most keyboards. This is a ultra high-end keyboard from Asus. They're trying to go after the market of the custom keyboards with the whole pre-lubed, interchangeable keys. This is a 75% keyboard and it's expensive. And that's why it's going to go into our OMG Tech review category. This is probably too expensive for most people, but also there's supercars, so go figure. Let's have a look what we get in the box. That's a nice packaging. We have another bag inside now and some accessories. Let's move that to, oh, that's heavy. Let's see. There we go. That's the keyboard. So underneath here, we have a whole stack of accessories. We have a, wow, that is a heavy wrist rest. Then we have some feet. Different size feet. We have a key tool, so you can remove the key caps. We have a nice braided cable. We have another tool. And we have a pass-through dongle with a clip. I'm not sure. We're going to have to check what these are later on, so we'll go through it. And lastly, we have a little box with some extra accessories. When it's this small, Asus, I can't open it. There we go. We have extra few keycaps. Or in this case, just a control key. And some spare pre-lubed switches. The reason why we have a control key is actually kind of funky. This control key goes instead of the Microsoft Copilot key over here. You can actually have that replaced. Normally that's where the control would be. As to the keyboard itself, as I mentioned, it is a 75% keyboard. I currently use a small keyboard as it is, but this is even smaller. I'm using the 10 keyless keyboard from Logitech, the G915. And it's taken me a little while to get used to not having a numpad. This takes it to the next level. On the side here, we have a full color OLED display, and this is a touch display, which is pretty cool. And then we have a three-way controls. So you have a little button over here, and you can move this dongle back and forth. The keyboard itself is made out of basically a solid piece of aluminum. The whole bottom part is just one piece. And this should have a cover. There's a cover somewhere. There we go. We've got the cover. So this actually lives below here. And as you can see here, once you take it off, the easiest to do. Below here, you have the dongle for your PC. And it's nice because it's magnetic, kind of just falls in place. And also you have this switch. So this switch adjusts the keyboard itself. So it actually moves the bottom plate up and down. It basically adjusts how your keys feel, whether they're going to be softer or harder to press. The keys themselves have a pretty clicky fashion. My wife is not going to be the happiest when I start typing away with this all day. But they do feel very nice. On the back of the keyboard, we have basically this section here is for the signal to go through. Then we have a button to turn it on. So we've got RGB, obviously. Go to the screen that's on now. And here you have the USB port for charging and connecting to your PC if you want to hardwire it. That's just a quick overview of the keyboard. But let me set this up as my main keyboard for the next few weeks, and I'll come back to you to let you know how I feel about it. So I've been using this keyboard for a while now, but since the review period is over, unfortunately I've been given an ultimatum. Stop using it or leave the house. This isn't really the keyboard's fault though, this is quite personal. I type and click a lot, and sharing an office with a significant other means making some compromises. Now that that's out of the way, let's dive into the keyboard itself. This thing is a weapon. I really like its weight and how stable it is on my desk. It is incredibly comfortable to type on, and its solid build means it doesn't move around at all. The keycaps have a textured finish that feels almost like they've been sanded down, which is quite pleasant. My only concern with that, it might attract a lot more finger grease over time. The keys are smaller than those of my daily driver, but I didn't really notice the difference. To be honest, I didn't really feel much of a difference between the soft and hard selector below the keyboard, in terms of the typing experience either. This feature is supposed to adjust the gasket mount to make the keystrokes harder or softer. By the way, to access the slot below, all you need to do is push the top part of the cover and it will tilt outwards. I actually really like the addition of the Copilot button. It's becoming increasingly useful for me, replacing the need to Google things I want to research. However, I'm not a fan of the right hand side shift button. It's so small and really takes time to get used to. But hey, this is a 75% keyboard after all. In terms of ergonomics, the 2 feet options and the wrist rest are great. They offer plenty of choices to suit different needs. The one thing that I have mixed feelings about is the OLED screen and the physical buttons. Let's start with the 3-way control knob. You can push it up or down as well as click it in. The issue I have is with the clicking it in. While using it, I've accidentally pressed the center button multiple times when just trying to push up or down. It's not very forgiving. You have to be very precise, and since the button is recessed in the groove, there is not much space to use the dial horizontally without accidentally pressing it in. On the other hand, I do like the side button. It is easy to click and change functions. Next up is OLED, and here I just don't know. I don't really see much practical use for it. It's a very small screen that will inevitably be covered in fingerprints from all the swiping. However, I do appreciate the gimmick it provides. Sure, you can display some PC stats like CPU temperature, but why would you put your date, time or battery icon on it when those are already available on your main screen? What do you guys think? How would you use that screen? Now let's dive deeper into the switches and some of the keyboard's flexibility features. This keyboard can be purchased with either ROG NX Storm or NX Snow switches. The Storm switches are clicky, while the Snow switches are linear. Our unit is obviously Storm, and I promise you it really caused a storm in our office. This keyboard supports hot swappable switches, so if you don't like the current ones, you could easily change them out later. It even comes with a keycap and switch removal tools. But to be honest, if you plan to change these, then maybe consider building or buying a custom keyboard in the first place. If you stick with the existing setup, you'll be pleased to know that the quality of the keys and switches is excellent. Asus has impressive stabilizers on the larger keys like Enter and Spacebar, ensuring the feel is consistent no matter where you press them. The keycaps are PBT double shot, so they should be durable and resistant to wear for a long time. Next, let's talk about the keyboard's software and customization options. Since this keyboard is from Asus, you can use the Armoury Crate software for extensive configuration. However, you can also skip all of that and do a bunch of these settings directly on the keyboard. There are numerous hotkeys to change modes, take screenshots, or even create on-the-fly macros. Lastly, let's discuss the connectivity and battery life. This keyboard supports wired, wireless, and Bluetooth modes, with a selector at the back. For the wireless mode, it uses 2.4 GHz RF connection via the dongle, which utilizes ROG Omni receiver, allowing multiple compatible devices to connect through a single USB receiver. For the high-end gamers, this package also includes an ROG polling rate booster dongle, which can increase the keyboard's polling rate for up to 8000 Hz in both wired and wireless modes. All of these features do impact battery life. Asus claims that in RF mode with RGB and OLED display turned off, the keyboard can last over 1600 hours. With everything turned on, it can last up to 92 hours. Both numbers are actually really impressive, and to be honest, considering the weight of the unit, I suspect it has a pretty substantial battery inside, which is definitely a plus. So all in all, ROG Azoth Extreme is definitely a top tier gaming keyboard that offers excellent build quality, customizable key feel, and a range of features that appeal to both gamers and typists. While the loud clicking and textured keys might not be for everyone, the overall performance and solid build make it worthwhile investment for serious users who want to avoid hassle of building their own keyboard. What do you think? Would you be interested in this keyboard? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. If you think that you would be interested in this keyboard, we'll leave the link in the description as well. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more. We'll see you guys in the next one.